Commonly found all over the Northern Hemisphere, yarrow offers us a myriad of healing remedies for both acute and chronic conditions. This plant is especially worth knowing if you spend any time outdoors, as it can be used fresh in a variety of first aid situations, from stopping bleeding to preventing the infection of wounds. As herbalist Guido Mazet has pointed out, yarrow has been helping us since long before we were even human. Archaeologists in Spain analyzed the dental tartar of a Neanderthal who lived 50,000 years ago and found they had eaten yarrow. Because of yarrow's bitter taste, it's unlikely it would have been eaten as food. Its presence is thought to have been an early sign of hominids using medicine. Yarrow is seen frequently throughout human history as both a spiritual and a medicinal herb. In the Western world, yarrow was revered as a battlefield herb and called many descriptive names such as staunchweed, woundwort, and herba militaris. Energetically, yarrow is a harmonizer that shows us how nuanced and complex herbal medicine can be. It doesn't simply do one thing or act in one way. Instead, it can promote flow, or it can bring fluids to a stop. Although mostly cooling, it has some warming qualities, and while it is drying through its diuretic and diaphoretic qualities, it can also be moistening. Yarrow sidesteps any attempts to easily categorize its many gifts. Yarrow is perhaps most famous for its ability to stop external bleeding and to heal wounds. In Greek mythology, the centaur Chiron, who is credited with the creation of botany and herbal medicine, taught Achilles to use yarrow on warriors' wounds. This is the origin of the plant's genus name, Achillea. Yarrow has many virtues that make it the perfect wound herb. Used as a poultice, either fresh or dried, it promotes blood clotting and can stop bleeding. It's mildly astringent, helping to pull tissues together. And it is broadly antimicrobial, helping either to keep wounds clear of infection or to address signs of infection such as redness, heat, and pus. Herbalist Sevensong has used yarrow extensively for first aid, including as a hot tea soak for wounds, as well as animal bites and scratches that are prone to infection. Recent studies have confirmed yarrow's gifts for healing wounds. One study showed that oil infused with yarrow was effective in reducing skin inflammation. Another demonstrated that yarrow in combination with St. John's wort increased the healing of episiotomy incisions. Yarrow is also used to heal wounds and infections in the mouth. In Medicinal Plants of the Mountain West, Michael Moore shows how he used yarrow root to relieve a toothache. A distillate of yarrow has been found to heal the symptoms of oral mucositis in chemotherapy patients faster than simply using a routine solution. While yarrow is best known for stopping blood flow, herbalists also use it to move stagnant blood and promote blood flow. It's commonly used on varicose veins and hemorrhoids, both signs of stagnant blood. Physician Aviva Ram recommends yarrow as a topical treatment for varicosities relating to pregnancy. It also is used as a pelvic decongestion for uterine fibroids and delayed menses. One double-blind clinical trial found that yarrow was effective at relieving pain associated with menstrual cramps. Taken as a hot tea, yarrow can make you sweat. It promotes circulation to the periphery, dilating capillaries and letting heat escape through the skin. Used in this way, it can be a powerful treatment supporting the fever process when someone is feeling hot and restless but isn't sweating. This is similar to how elderflowers are used. Yarrow tea, yarrow throat spray, or yarrow-infused honey can help soothe a sore throat. The herb can also be used to dispel a cough. Taken as a cool or lukewarm tea, yarrow acts as a diuretic and promotes the flow of urine. It's also antimicrobial and is frequently used to address urinary tract infections, often in combination with other herbs for best effects. It's commonly formulated with herbs like bearberry, Arctostaphylos uva-ursi, juniper, Juniperus communis, and echinacea. Eclectic herbalists use yarrow for a variety of urinary complaints, including irritation of the kidneys and urethra, suppression of urine, and chronic diseases of the urinary apparatus. Yarrow is aromatic and bitter, making it a wonderful ally to support digestion. It can be used in bitters blends or taken as a tea. Eclectic herbalists use yarrow for people with dysentery. The spicy aromatics of yarrow can be employed to deter insects, such as mosquitoes. You can do this by making a spray using yarrow infused in distillate or alcohol. Or, in a pinch, I've had this work simply by taking yarrow leaves and flowers and then rubbing them against my skin and clothes. How to identify yarrow? Well, yarrow may be found in various locations and elevations. You can find it in open fields to mountaintops and even seashores. Spreading by rhizomes to form clumps, it has aromatic, dark or gray-green leaves. The leaves start from a basal rosette and then grow alternately up an erect stem, becoming smaller towards the top. The lanceolate leaves are finely divided, giving them a feathery or fern-like appearance. The flat-topped inflorescence consists of many small flowers, each of which is actually a composite of small disc florets surrounded by petal-like ray florets. Although wild yarrow flowers are generally white, they can also be pink-tinged. I'm often asked if yarrows of different colors can be used. Some of them may offer some medicinal benefits. However, since the taste and scent vary widely, it's best to stick with the wilder white variety. Here's some ways that yarrow is part of the greater ecosystem. Yarrow is a host plant for butterflies, including the painted lady. Its flowers provide nectar and pollen to moths, butterflies, skippers, bees, wasps, hoverflies, and beetles. Yarrow can also attract predatory wasps, ladybugs, and spiders. Sheep and deer have been known to graze on the flower heads, and the foliage is an important food source for sage grouse chicks. The plant's extensive rhizomes can stabilize soil and prevent erosion. It can draw up nutrients from the soil, including potassium, phosphorus, and copper, and some gardeners use yarrow as a nutrient-rich mulch. How to harvest yarrow? The leaves can be gathered throughout the growing season as needed. Harvest the flowers just after they bloom or as long as they remain aromatic. To gather the leaves, use your fingers to pluck just a few leaves from each plant. To harvest both the flowers and leaves, use scissors or pruning shears to snip stalks near the base, leaving the roots the plant can regrow. Yarrow reproduces by rhizomes and seeds. Encourage future generations by keeping the roots intact and leaving enough flowers so the plant can reproduce seeds, which are dispersed primarily by the wind. There are some lookalikes for yarrow and some very important ones. Yarrow is superficially similar to Apiaceae family flowers like wild carrot, Daucus carota, and poison hemlock, Conium maculatum. You'll want to carefully examine the flowers to distinguish them. Unlike Apiaceae flowers, each small yarrow flower is composed of disc and ray florets. How to work with yarrow? Well, yarrow can be made into herbal medicine in many ways. It's soluble in water, oil, alcohol, and witch hazel distillate. It can simply be used as an external poultice for addressing injuries and wounds, or it can be made into a tea or infused into an oil or alcohol to use on wounds. Prepared as a hot tea, yarrow promotes sweating. As a cool tea, it promotes diuresis. As an herbal steam, it can decrease congestion in the lungs and sinuses, as well as promote healthy skin. In our book, Wild Remedies, you'll find recipes for making your own yarrow bug spray and yarrow and elderflower tea. Yarrow is a plentiful plant that grows practically everywhere in the world. It can address so many health challenges, from acute bleeding to colds and the flu to poor digestion and infections. Well, it might be easier to state what it can't do rather than what it can. Yarrow is a powerful friend in the herbal world.